Before we saw Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, there was a player many still call the best striker ever, Ronaldo. At just 19, he became the world's most expensive player. At 20, he was named FIFA World Player of the World, and at only 23, he had one of the most tragic injuries in football. Here's the incredible successful but also tragic story of one of the greatest footballers ever. In 1976, Ronaldo was born near Rio de Janeiro, and we all know that Brazil is mad about football, so it's no surprise Ronaldo fell in love with the sport early on. At age 12, he joined a futsal club and scored 166 goals in his first season. What a start. And futsal also helped him develop his skills, which gave him a massive edge on the football pitch. 2 years later, he started playing for São Cristóvão, and he was crushing it. At just 15, he was already playing for the U17 and U20 teams. And now, Brazil's big clubs had their eyes on young Ronaldo, and he chose to join Cruzeiro. At just 3 months after arriving, he made his debut on May 25, 1993, at the age of 16. A few weeks later, there was a friendly match in Portugal, and Ronaldo scored his first goal. And during this tour, Porto was so impressed that they offered $500,000 for Ronaldo. But Cruzeiro said, nope, sorry, can't do. And for good reason. Even though he was really young, he was a nightmare for opposing defenses. Then, a call that would shape his life forever. The Brazilian national coach was a big fan of him, and Ronaldo made his debut in the yellow shirt on March 23, 1994. What a moment for the just 17-year-old. And even though he was super young, he was part of the squad that went to the '94 World Cup in the US. And Brazil played amazing. And they won the final against Italy. Ronaldo didn't play a minute, but he was still a World Cup winner, learning a lot from legends like Dunga, Cafu and Romario. And it also was Romario who encouraged him to take the next step to Europe, to PSV Eindhoven. So after a year at Cruzeiro with 44 goals in 47 games, the 17-year-old Ronaldo packed his bags to prove himself in Europe. And he had made a name for himself in Brazil, but Europe wasn't totally convinced he could make it there. And that changed quite fast, because just 10 minutes into his debut, he scored. Ronaldo was an instant hit at Eindhoven. He became the top scorer in the league with 30 goals. In a UEFA Cup match against Leverkusen, Rudi Völler was so blown away, he said, "I've never seen an 18-year-old play like that." Because as a teenager, Ronaldo pretty much was already the perfect striker. He was skillful, had a great shot, and was extremely fast. He just had it all. But that explosiveness would become his worst enemy. Now, his second season was plagued by little injuries. His quick sprints and changes of direction put a massive strain on his body, especially his knees. And still, he scored almost in every game with 19 goals in 21 matches. And as well, he won the Dutch Cup with Eindhoven in '96. Everyone now knew about this prodigy, and all the top clubs wanted him. And in the end, Barcelona won the race, paying 50 million euros in the summer of 1996, which was a new world record at the time. So 19-year-old Ronaldo became the world's most expensive player. The same year, Nike signed Ronaldo for life. And what did Ronaldo get for it? Apparently around 150 million euros. Not bad. And during the 96-97 season, Ronaldo scored 47 goals in 49 games, won the UEFA Cup and was top scorer in Spain. And do you know who worked as a translator back then at Barca? Jose Mourinho. And he later said that Ronaldo was the best player he had ever seen. At the end of 1996, another success for Ronaldo. At just 20 years old, he was named FIFA World Player of the Year, the youngest ever to win that title. And everything just seemed perfect. But Ronaldo didn't know there was a tragedy coming. After just 1 year at Barcelona, the big news: Inter Milan paid 26.5 million euros to Barca in the summer of 1997. Another world record. And Ronaldo moved from Spain to Italy. He signed a 5-year contract and was introduced to 4,000 Inter fans. And you know what? He had no trouble adapting to Serie A, scoring 25 goals in his first season. And now he was also providing more assists. He was literally the perfect striker now. Additionally, he was named FIFA World Player of the Year again and won the Ballon d'Or. But in 1998, the first setback. World Cup in France, and this time Ronaldo wasn't just any add-on player. He was one of the key players in the squad, and they played well, marching to the final where they faced France. But when the lineup was announced, the shock. Ronaldo wasn't in the starting 11. He apparently had a seizure that day and was taken to the hospital. The doctors found nothing and gave their okay. And shortly before kickoff, the news: Ronaldo would play, but no one knew if it was really a good idea to start him. All this unsettled the Brazilian team, and they didn't play a good final. France won, and Ronaldo was devastated. The 1998-99 season was a complete disaster for Inter. They finished 8th and didn't even qualify for Europe. Plus, Ronaldo had several injuries that season and only played 19 games, but still scored 14 goals. But the next season, on November 21st, 1999, the big shock. During the game against Lecce, 23-year-old Ronaldo seriously injured his right knee. Now, he worked hard, and just 4 months later, the moment had come, making his comeback against Lazio.
Entra in campo Ronaldo.
But after just 6 minutes, Ronaldo got stuck in the grass and clutched his knee in pain. Again, the ligaments in his right knee had torn. But this time, the injury was much worse, and people were talking about the end of the career of this outstanding player. But Ronaldo didn't give up and fought hard to get back on the pitch. He had 2 surgeries and missed almost the entire 2000-2001 season. But after 17 months, on September 20th, 2001, the big moment. He returned to the football pitch. In the second part of the season, he scored 7 goals in 10 games, but many didn't see the same Ronaldo. He was still incredibly dangerous and skillful, but his agility and speed weren't the same. But Ronaldo wanted to prove to everyone that he was still one of the best, and there was a perfect stage to show it: the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan. And even though he just played a few games since his injury, he was in the Brazilian squad. And the first game was against Turkey, and then in the 50th minute, Ronaldo was back. And Brazil, with their superstars Ronaldo, Rivaldo and Ronaldinho, played an incredible tournament. And with the help of Ronaldo's goals, they marched all the way to the final.
Rivaldo leaves it for Ronaldo!
2 goals in the final. The disappointment of 1998 was forgotten. Brazil and Ronaldo were World Cup winners. He scored 8 goals in total, became the top scorer, and many celebrated his comeback. That year, he was again named FIFA's World Player of the Year and was back on top. But then the big letdown for all Inter fans. Real Madrid, after signing Figo and Zidane, wanted the next superstar and bought Ronaldo for 45 million euros. So Ronaldo became part of the legendary Galacticos. And hey, it started well. Madrid won the Spanish League in 2003. Ronaldo scored 23 league goals. And the following year, he became the top scorer in Spain again for the second time with 24 goals. But Madrid didn't win a single title despite all the superstars. Fast forward to 2006, World Cup in Germany, and defending champions Brazil were among the favorites, but it didn't go so well. Many said Ronaldo was out of shape and not in form, and Brazil lost the quarterfinal to France, who had a brilliant Zinedine Zidane. Still, Ronaldo scored 3 goals in the tournament, which at that time made him the player with the most World Cup goals, 15. He returned to Spain frustrated, but things didn't get better. His low point in the 2006-2007 season, he went 215 days without scoring, and after several injuries and weight issues, the new coach Capello dropped 30-year-old Ronaldo. On January 18, 2007, he moved on. AC Milan paid 7.5 million euros, and Ronaldo returned to Italy. Milan played good football at the time and reached the Champions League final against Liverpool and actually won it.
AC Milan are champions of Europe once again.
Everyone was happy, but Ronaldo couldn't really celebrate because as he had played for Madrid in the Champions League earlier this season, he wasn't allowed to play and wasn't part of the team that won the Champions League. The next season, another attempt to win that trophy, but then in a game against Livorno, Ronaldo injured his knee again, this time the left one, and again everyone feared his career would be over. But he didn't give up and fought hard for the comeback. But Milan didn't want him anymore. His contract expired and wasn't renewed. So Ronaldo returned to Brazil to work on his comeback. And on December 9th, 2009, he signed for Corinthians. He stayed there for 2 years and helped them win the Brazilian Cup. And then in 2011, after an 18-year-long career, 34-year-old Ronaldo announced his retirement. His body just couldn't keep up anymore. But there was a very special honor for him. His last professional game ever would be for Brazil. And on June 7th, 2011, 5 years since his last game for the Brazilian national team, he played in a friendly against Romania, his last match ever. Ronaldo Luis Nazario, perhaps the most complete striker ever. And I mean, who knows what he could have achieved if he hadn't been injured so early on. Honestly, this story is just a great reminder to really value the thing that's the most important we have, our health.